everybody, it is KJ from Metro Hobbies, and it is that time of year that we are choosing gifts for family and friends and all the loved ones. And it's sometimes very difficult to work out what to get them, so I'm here to give you a hand. We have some gifts. This is for, I guess, people who are a little bit geeky, people who are makers, they like to build things, who are creative. There's a huge range of things. Like maybe somebody's technically minded. They like they like a little bit of math. They like a little bit of engineering. Some of them just like a little bit of decoration. But the main things, they're creative. They're a bit geeky. I have got a selection of things to show you. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so I am going to start with what is known as 3D metal laser cut kits. So they are flat sheets of metal that has been laser cut, and then the idea is that they need to fold them, put together, and create a 3D model. These models are quite incredible. There's two different brands I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you Metal Earth, and I'm going to show you Moo Models. Metal Earth is something you might be familiar with, so I'm going to start there. This is for the music fans. It is a fairly straightforward one, so this is probably an entry-level one to get going with the Metal Earth, and it's a beautiful little electric bass guitar, which I think is quite cute. So that's somewhere to start with. It's a great stocking filler. There is also others that are more complicated. So for those who are a fan of space, we have the CSM with the LM. It's the Apollo CSM and the LM. There's a range of space ones there. There's also the Discovery Shuttle. There is the Saturn V. There's a whole range of Metal Earth space. There is construction vehicles. There are things for Harry Potter fans. There are things for Star Wars fans, like an AT-AT. That's one of my favorites. There might even be a K2SO for all those Rogue One and Andor fans. There are also ones for the fans of the Autobots or the Optimus Prime. Now, here is Optimus Prime. This is a very straightforward, simple version of Optimus Prime that you can fold together. This is probably somewhere you start before you head on to Moo Models. Now, Moo Models have got some really complex, they take probably a month of patient time. So this really is for the creators. This is something that could potentially be doing in an evening or a week, but the ones I'm about to show you would take much longer. Now that we do have an Optimus Prime, if you go into our Melbourne store, you will get to see it on show. We have also got the Decepticons. I'm going to show you a Decepticon today. This is a Megatron, the Decepticon of all Decepticons. He's the arch nemesis of Optimus Prime. So maybe your friend or family member already have Optimus Prime. So now we're going on to get them a Decepticon to match it. So like I was saying, maybe get two, get the small one. This is the practice one. And then they get the beast out, because in here is so many sheets of metal. It's an incredible value. And it is actually amazing once you get to finish to see your work and how it's actually put together, and the technicality of it and the details of it, the coloring of it. These are Metal Earth on steroids. There's so much in here. It's a very thick box. Now, you might be wondering, well, how do I put these things together? You might not, but you definitely need tools. This is your basic set of tools that you need. There is going to be some side cutters to actually cut the pieces out. You can also use photo etch cutters, which we have. We've got some Tamiya ones, we've got some AK ones, they're great. You also need flat, smooth pliers. So this is not just your household pliers that usually have that grit on them. You don't want to use that, you will damage your models. So you need one that's like a flat nose and one that is a thin nose. So this is for going to be pinching the little tabs, hold things in place, and this is for folding the metal. There are other techniques, so there's round bits you would see on there. You usually need to have like a round cylinder to actually fold the piece of metal on. There is a number of different tools that you can use for as somebody gets more advanced, photo etch bending tools, and we're happy to help you if you're wanting to help grow your tool set. So maybe your friend already has some of these and they're looking to make their work even better, stand out even more, then give us a call and we'll discuss all the options for getting your photo etch or laser cut metal models put together. Now, maybe you wanting to start, maybe those people your family member isn't into robots. Okay, well, Moo Models does a whole range of different things, and there's some new ones that are kind of going to highlight. I'm going to say that probably if they haven't done it before, this is where we start. This is a series of little modular buildings. They're very cute, but most of the surfaces are flat, and that means that you're just doing a single fold. It's when you start dealing with the curves that things get really challenging. These are little magnetic books. It's beautiful the way these come together. I have done a review on these before, so that we can put a link in the description so you can have a look at a detailed review of these. There is numbers to choose from. It's a good starting point for somebody who likes something a little bit more cute, or a little bit more people-orientated and less robot-orientated. Geek about architecture instead of geek about robots. Or geek about elves. So all those fantasy lovers, this is an elven crown. This is a new series called the Elven series. There's a castle as well. I'll give you a quick look on the back. It's really beautiful and intricate. This is not where they start. If they've been building these already and they want to get up their level, this is where we go to. Honestly, the models are beautiful. It is incredibly satisfying to build these. I highly recommend picking them up. You can browse through the collection. There's a full range of them. I am going to move on to some more metal, but this is not the photo etch style or the laser cut style that I was talking about. This is going to have, it's a little bit more like Yu-Gi's if you're familiar. It's called Time for Machine. Now these are for the geeks of machines, those who like things that work, things that are got a clockwork motion to them. They can start off quite simple. You know, you can have a little scooter, a little sports car. It does have a little clockwork mechanism so that you can pull it back and it pushes and goes once you've finished. So that's quite something that's great place for them to start and put it all together. So this is not just about cutting things out and folding metal. There is also going to be some gears to line up in this one as well. And quite possibly, you might need a few little tools. Sometimes there's screws, but in this one I think there's just tabs, but you do have to line up the gears for it to actually work. The other, getting a little bit more complex, they've started already, and now we need a Harley or a motorbike roadster to get things going. Again, it's going to have the clockwork in it. Great piece. You can still pick up those metal earth tools. Those metal earth tools are still definitely very handy to have to get this together, especially those smooth pliers. It's a really good value for that. Now, maybe they've wanted to really up their game and you want to get them something that will occupy their new hobby, their newfound love of photo etch and laser cut and geeky builds. Hercules. The Heavenly Hercules. So for those who are a fan of the bombers, but they're not really model kit builders, they're not really interested in painting, but they are still creative types and they're more interested in the mechanics of things, this is the thing. This is the Time for Machine. Beautiful quality, great mechanical gears, as I keep saying, and obviously the clockwork. So these are the three that I've chosen. Again, there's definitely more for you to choose from. There's a steam train that looks absolutely incredible. Certainly time consuming, but in a very satisfying and pleasurable way. You're never bored. Now, I've mentioned Yu-Gi's a few times. Yu-Gi's is the wooden version of Time for Machine. Yu-Gi's comes out of Ukraine. They're designed by engineers, so this is definitely for the geeks. There's so many to choose from. I've mentioned a dragon before. You can have a look at the review. The ones I'm going to highlight today, some of them are very, very new. Some of them are much loved. So the globe is a much loved one. People are asking for it all the time. It constantly go out of stock. So if you're interested in getting the globe, this is the time to get it now. These are beautiful little mechanical clockwork designs. You do definitely need to get the gears lined up. The tip here is it comes with some beeswax, or you just need to wrap around and lubricate your gears so that it actually goes smoothly. Not melted wax, just dry wax, because if you melt the wax, it will definitely lock those gears up. So we're using that as a lubricant to get the gears around. That's the tip. For all those who are really geeky and want to add a motor into these things, you could pick up like these tiny little clockwork motor and you can motorize it yourself, but you would have to be one of those creative maker types to do that. There is no instructions for it. Now I want to highlight for the Harry Potter fans a very functional Yu-Gi's Hogwarts Express that even has Hermione, Ron and Harry that you can put on and display it. You can lift the little lid off. Again, clockwork. You wind it up and it goes. It's got some track to function on. I'm sure you could pick up some more track and it would keep going, which is really, really cool. Now, one that I'm very excited about, which has just come out. There are more, by the way, of Harry Potter. There's also the Ford Angular. There is also the Night Bus, which I believe actually got skinny and expands again so that it can do its cool Harry Potter function or magical function. But the one that I want to talk about or to show you is brand new. It's the Model T. So they've just come out with some new Yu-Gi's models that have just come into store. There is a dragster and there is also a lumber truck. But the one that caught my eye the most was the Ford Model T. This is a classic car. It is going to be great for all the car lovers. It is going to be great for people who are geeky about mechanics. It's going to have torque plates in it. It's got a clockwork motion in it. It's got the little hood to come over. Again, check out the whole range, but they are my highlights. They are my suggestions for the U-Gears. Now, I have been talking about U-Gears and also lots of robot style and cars and mechanicals and engineering, but there's also those who like things that are cute and those creative makers. And I'm going to start off with the Robotime range. Now, Robotime does a whole different groups of ranges. They do what's called Rolife, they do DIY miniature housing, and they do what's called Rorka, which are more like the mechanical ones, and I'll show you some of those ones. We're going to start off with what is called the flower pots. This is a starter place. So if they're interested in making things and they want to get into it, but they don't want anything that's too complex and they like things that are cute. So we have got, this one I've got is it the puppy? It's the puppy. It's the flower pot puppy and the flower pot bunny. There is a range of these. There's a koala. I believe there's a cat. I think there's actually also a robot, so you can still be geeky about the robot. These are cute little bills, quite simple to put together, and then you've got a little succulent flower pot there to go and sit on a desk, either a study desk for a youth or an office desk for us geeky adults. Now, maybe you want to get something a little bit more detailed. Maybe they're really like their sort of detail and making things, a very sort of craft-orientated person. Robolife, Robotime have put out these beautiful little vignettes, I believe you call them. So this is a morning fruit store. There's a selection of them. And this one is called the Flavor Kitchen. So these are cute little displays. They don't take up much space, but they certainly do make for some enjoyable and crafty builds. So these are people, for the makers, the little details. They get to fold the paper into the right shape. They can paint it up if they want to. It will involve glue, these sets. So this is sort of a medium level. I would not start here unless I mean, obviously there are people out there that are just, they'll just pick up anything and make anything, and maybe that's for them, something a little bit different that they haven't seen before. Now, they've also come out with some book nooks. So maybe you're wanting to decorate your shelf. You're not wanting to have a whole city of little dioramas. You're wanting to build up just a little bit of touches to your bookshelf in your home decor, but you don't want it to be boring. You want to do it yourself, or you want them to do it yourself. So the book nooks is what I would suggest. There's a whole new range of them. There is Sunshine Town, which is this one you can see there, that builds up and it's supposed to sit in between your books as if there's a little life going on, as something magical is happening in between the books, as if the stories that you read are coming to life. So we have the Sunshine Town, we have time travel with a very, very familiar looking train that's traveling through time. We also have a Japanese brand of book nook as well, the Sakura Densaya. It's got a little tram in there. I love the little tram that's going on there and the blossoms. I think that's a really, really nice touch. And there is another one called Magic House, but it hasn't come in. So you'll get to see the whole range of those. They are a beautiful gift idea for this Christmas, especially for those, like I keep saying, for the makers, the creatives, the people who like to craft, they like something to occupy their minds, and they love detail, because these are packed full of detail. Now, I did mention that Robotime also do the mechanical and the engineering style things like U-Gears and Time for Machine. Well, these are them, and these are the ones I would suggest. This is new. This is a luminous globe. So you know that there's the Lego globe, obviously, and there's plenty of globes that you can buy from the shop, but have you got one that you can make like this, that has the gears that you have to put together? I think possibly this is the one to pick up for those who are fans of travel, those who are fans of geography. And there are a whole range of different Rorka ones. There's also a gramophone for the music fans. The other one, which I think is quite fun, so this is probably for a little bit of the science mind, a little bit of the marbling mind, those marble fans, because this is a chocolate factory, a marble chocolate factory. So this is a marble run that is a chocolate factory. No, you can't eat the chocolate. It is made out of wood and then probably marbles. You do have to build the factory yourself, or for somebody who loves marble runs but is also one of those engineering types, a budding engineer, or maybe is an engineer. I have a few friends who like to build marble circuits over and over again. Would you believe they're an engineer? But they're fascinated with marbles, and marbles capture our attention for both children and adults alike. So this is something that could actually be for a whole family. This is probably the favorite that I would select out of that range, is the chocolate factory. Okay, that is all the gift ideas I have for you today when it comes to the creative makers. And there are more. Big selection. If you're wanting to find something very specific for your family member, so maybe they're a Star Wars fan, a Marvel fan, or they're just a geek fan, come and talk to us. Either in store, we have 3 stores across Melbourne, Melbourne, Box Hill, and Dandenong. Give us a phone call, speak to the expert, find out what it is that might be suitable for your loved one, and we're happy to have a chat. But plenty of things to choose from. I'll put links in the description below so you can have a browse of all the things to select from. These are perfect gift ideas. There's something different and there's something intriguing, and they're wonderful to build. So remember, if you can imagine it, you can absolutely make it.